Okay, that's good. Now, go ahead.
Good morning. You're watching
New Way of Being, hosted by
Avatar Galextra
and Andraggon,
on
Facebook,
YouTube
YouTube Live.
Live.
Now, what you are now looking at is a face that was reconstructed by Mr. Trump using that 4D technology that he has deformed my mouth. Mr. Trump and Mr. Trudeau are a part of it. They're both a part of it. So we, my parents were killed, wiped out, 5 members of my family, wiped out by Mr. Trump and Mr. Trudeau. They were killed. Um, and right after that, they decided they were going to create the coronavirus. And that's when that corona thing started. I have been tormented and tortured, as I said before, all of my life practically.
Hmm.
This is what the United States and Canada was doing in our country, in the country I was born in. I am disappointed to know that they have still been attacking and abusing me, and because I told them they owe me in the billions, Mr. Trudeau and his congregation, or the people that he works with in the government,
Members of Parliament.
the members of Parliament, thank you,
Hmm.
haven't been playing fair. They said they're going to pay the money that they owe us, and they're looking for all different ways to dodge and hide instead of face and let us know. They set up a lady to show us a home that we could be living in if we like it. And we saw the home. As a matter of fact, we liked it. I liked it anyway. But they haven't given us the address of the home that we're getting, or that we can go and look at and decide if we want to keep that, because they want to give us the house. I don't mind that because the house looked really nice. But I also wanted to have money for furnitures, and that house would be just a certain amount of money, and we need to have money in order for us to have put furnitures into the home. Also to reconstruct my body, my face back, because Mr. Trump did this with as well as Mr. Trudeau. Since they're working as a team, these are the things that they have been doing. And they haven't paid a cent, and we are living in poverty, and tomorrow we'll be thrown out of this motel because of what these people are doing. They're playing all kinds of games with our lives and creating all kinds of things that they have 3 more steps to do. And when the 3 more steps are done, they start adding more and saying that they have this and that to do. Similar to the 3 more steps.
Phases.
Different phases.
To reopen the economies.
No, to reopen the same persecution that we've been going through, or I've been going through all of my life. They wanted to continue. And so I have been terrorized all of my life. And these people owe me the amount that I'm telling them, because they killed out my family. And it's possible that the other 2 that are, in the place I was born, dead, or because they were giving us, what do they call these things, stiffening our bodies, because cramps, not cramps alone, just a lot of stuff I have been going through, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not just asking for that money because I'm greedy. I'm asking for that money because I earn it for the hell that I've been put through all of my life without having done anything to anyone. My daughter, same problem. This is what they've been doing to us. My husband, they tried to kill him on 3 different occasions when I was much younger, and they felt that they could use me for betting. And I'm not someone that anybody's going to use for betting. I'm not interested in the sexual activities with anybody, only my husband. I love all of you. That's no doubt. I'm not going to lie about that. I love you all because you're my family, not someone to hop in bed with wherever I turn. I'm not a player, and I do not want to be played. I never played around, but I have been done a lot of bad things too. What I want is to have my family have the opportunity to live in the manner that in which we were born to, and was getting doing different things to get there, and we were being terrorized in every area and every job, and too much prejudice.
Hmm.
The prejudice has to go. It's destroying too many. It even is destroying many in the Caucasian and European culture, as well as other nationalities. But those who are doing it are those are in the European and the Caucasian culture, and think that they own and have a right to do whatever they want when they were given their lives. We're not going to take it away. We just want them to be able to live their lives in a manner in which does not rob other people of theirs. Allow people the right to learn and be treated in a manner in which they have a right to be treated. If you were doing that from the beginning, these people would be adults behaving as responsibly as they as they would have if it were not for the interference and persecution that many people are going through. I have gone through a lot of it. And I'll tell you something. Too much evil in this Canadian government and in the American government. You need to change the behavior and start paying what you owe, and stop being self-centered and selfish and thinking it's all about you and the rights of others should not be allowed. But when other people have nothing to get to pay for things that they need, you want to treat them like they're going to be stealing all over the place, which we weren't doing.
Hmm.
A society that is corrupt and is just trying to destroy people for not having, and destroying them for having, and is abusing them because they won't do what they want them to do, like sleep around with other men, and then turn around and call me a whore and all kinds of other things. We have not been allowed the right to live our lives in a manner in which we would have been successful in whatever we did. We were blocked every step of the way. Prejudice, jealousy, ignorance,
Hmm.
terrorism. This is what we were going through and still are. They're using people in their own place there. The
Media
government,
places.
you bringing, suddenly the females came out with makeup and everything. Oh, no, nothing is wrong with that. But they all set them up to play the games that the CNN set up the females in their place to play games with my husband to go after him. The
Other stations
other
do that too.
stations were doing that after when we stopped looking at going out to CNN to watch their shows as much as we did not we used to. That's because of the terrorization that we've been going through in every single station that we started looking at, except maybe one or two that just had things for children. And even the children um, stories changed and started getting warped. They didn't care who they destroy, as long as they destroyed me.
Hmm.
But that's something that you could never do. I'm a goddess, a female god, one who is not here to harm anyone, and one who has never really harmed anyone, but has been harmed by practically everyone.
The life of living hell.
Hell,
Hmm.
yes. My family went through the same thing just for being African like I am. So they decided they're going to play favors. My husband is going to be it. So they were sending out all females, properly decorated on their faces, and playing games like people who don't have brains to know that when you start playing those games, you're destroying a whole society in ways in which turns it into what you're seeing happening today.
Hmm.
How do you expect to have a peaceful, comfortable life when you're sending human beings that are supposed to have the development to know when something is wrong and why they shouldn't do it? Because if you thought about it, you would realize that once you implanted that into the society, you are implanted hell to what's everybody. Because it's not only me that is going through this. There are billions of beings who are going through this all over the world. And this is where it's coming from. Changes has to be made. That's the reason I'm here. I
Hmm.
can tolerate your garbage. but you're destroying my life, my body, my mind. And that's something that should not be done. And if I just killed you once, I'm now a murderer. This is the kind of evil that this government has set up to make sure that they can do it. And they're okay for doing it. But we can't, because we don't have the right to protect the violations, to stop violations that are taking place in our lives. And to stop it means that you're going to have to hurt the person because they're hurting you all of your life, and the government cares nothing about it. The systems, the Canadian government or the American government cares nothing about it because they send out the people to do this. They're giving them these copies of this 4D technology with vast capabilities that they weaponized and is now using and upgrading in ways in which it can kill you, it can destroy your life, destroy your face, destroy your hair, destroy your body, destroy your soul.
Mm.
If that's what you want in your society, you're well on your way to going to the evil. You're already there, actually. The only problem is that you don't realize it, that you're living in hell on earth with devils as human beings moving around doing evil to you and other people. You cannot allow this to continue because it's destroying people like us. We have done nothing to any of you, and yet we are being done things too that is saying that we need to protect ourselves because the systems is not there for us because they're the ones who are using these people to do what they're doing.
Mm.
They even set up to say that I was a rapist. I raped my baby sister. She was my little goddaughter. True, I was a little girl then, but I never harm anyone, especially my family or anybody, because they're all my family. I'm respectful of them. I treat them with dignity, as I would expect that should be done with everybody. And yet I was being set up to be terrorized. Go any place I go, they made sure they use everybody. And believe me, I'm disappointed to see human beings can be so deceitful and go along with lies that are being told to them. Before you listen and you do things that people tell you want you to do, you should first see if what you're being told makes sense. And even if it doesn't, it makes sense. You need to study the scenario before you jump on and do damage to another person to help a government or people in the society that is paying you to do it. These things should not be going on, ladies and gentlemen. We're setting up a society to literally be destroyed because of these mentally disabled human beings who are calling themselves governments and are running your lives. And you're giving them their rights. And that's why they're able to do all this damage to a lot of people. They have power they can't hold, they can't handle it. So, what they do is they set up others to do it for them.
Mm.
Meanwhile, they're putting you in jail for practically nothing. Think about it. Does it make sense? Is this how you want your children treated in the streets when they're growing up and they can't explain it? So they can't tell you exactly what really is happening in details? But people can, adults can. And adults need to start speaking the truth about what is really going on. Do not be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. Your rights is to speak the truth, what you know, and let others come out and speak their truths. But don't lie, because it's not going to help anything. Speak the truth so that you could have a better world to live in. Because after a period of time, everyone will be communicating so well that you'll find that you have family in all the right places, people you can trust, people you can now depend on. And stop calling people in names for being older. Be respectful of all beings. If you want respect, it's necessary that you practice giving the respect that you want from others.
Mm.
Give what you know is right. Leave the rest behind. It's not helping anyone behaving like evil monsters and putting it out on TV and radio and setting up people to deform you by their nasty words. Like this Canadian government has not been doing the right thing. They are deformed. They lie. They're not doing the right thing because they're not really dealing with the problems. They would not even listen to what we have to tell them, even though they know they're the ones who send up the people to come and do this damage. Well, Mr. Trudeau did his own, and so did Mr. Trump, and they have committed many crimes. And your government in the United States, and so in Canada, is allowing them to get away with robbery, terrorizing and demonizing African people, and then turning around and forcing you to do what they want. And when you don't do it, then you have a strike. Or they've been calling me a target today I was born, I believe. This is the kind of stuff that I've been going through. And it was all coming from the United States and Canada. They used the cloak of invisibility with vast capabilities. It has all kinds of evil things in it now because they changed a beautiful instrument that was supposed to save the world and instead is now using it to kill the world. It's not going to harm me alone. It's harming you all too. Please think in terms of the right thinking for me and you. Okay? I want to know that our world is a safe place to live. It was created for people to live in a safe way, not for people to destroy each other. Please don't do that. All of you getting killed, people are getting killed, and it's very painful to see your family dying because of practices of evil, practices of prejudices, and a superiority behavior that is destroying people inside out. Please think about what you're doing before you do things. Don't say bad things to others. Treat them with respect, okay? Be respectful of all beings and expect respect in return. And when you see people are not doing the right thing, let them know they're now relearning to learn how to behave. So give them the opportunity, at least tell them, not in a deformed way, not in a angry way, not in a disrespectful way, but in a way in which lets them know that this is the homecoming. You're coming back into your own development. You're coming into your view and the view of others. And these people are your family members. It doesn't matter what nationality they are. The point is, they were given different nationalities to be shown how to live with themselves and others like them. And though they are like them, it doesn't matter what color you are, what nationality you are. You're part from the same breed. You're human. Children of gods. That makes you baby gods, growing up, learning, and developing to be the kind of gods that you were born to be. And once you go the wrong direction, you create evil, and the evil teaches you how to become a devil. You don't want to be a devil. A demon. You want to be the kind of being that proud of people, proud to know that there are different nationalities exist, and anyone you look down at is yourself you're really looking down at. Please think very, very carefully and very lovingly to let people know that they're family. You would not be raping. You would not be doing the things that a lot of people are doing today. This was set up from the beginning, not deliberately, but because they wanted to do something a little evil. They ended up creating a bigger problem in the society where evil is now running rampant and destroying everything in its path. And the ones that they call the evil are supposed to be the Africans, and they are the ones that are being terrorized and persecuted by those evil members who call people of color evil.
mm,
Learn to love each other. And the only way you can do that is by treating people properly. When you bring kids into the world, it's your job to make sure that you look after those children. Stop paying people to look after your kids, and they're doing damage to your children's moral sense of dignity and all the things that these children could be learning that would help them to behave responsibly.
mm,
This is not their natural behavior. This is behavior that was forced upon them by how they were being terrorized by others who taught them to terrorize their parents sometimes because parents have lost the development that they have from within and don't know how to access it. So they're doing bad things. And when you do bad things, the bad things come out and show itself in the demonic behavior that you're seeing in society today. It takes stages. In
mm,
order for you to get to the kind of quality that you want, you have to take stages going the other way, away from the evil that is causing the problems. So work on these issues, deal with them. Stop persecuting people for speaking aloud if they're angry. Is if they're fighting, then you should worry about that. But it's important for things to get out of the system that sometimes, yes, you have to be allowed. You have to shout it out or you are going to hold it in. And no one has a right to tell you that you can't because that's how you release what was forced into you by others who think that you don't have a right to push it out.
mm,
Don't be afraid. Anger is not going to help you to do anything bad if you're thinking in the right direction. What it will do is teach you how to communicate properly, how to meet and greet your family, whether you know them or not. When all of them are treated well, you're going to see great beings all around you. So why not do the job? Treat them well. And I don't mean by doing running, hopping in bed with everybody that you speak to. I'm speaking about behaving responsibly. I'm speaking about being the kind of beings that you were born to be rather than what you have become through your not through your own fault, but the fault of others who allowed their kids to go wild and just start behaving like irresponsible beings, which is what we're dealing with today because of that same kind of lack of development. If you want to say something, it's your time.
I'm just trying to stay awake, but you're making points which they need to hear and pay attention to, because the person talking to you is your creator, living inside a human body belonging to a female member of the African community or race. And so she is bringing insights to you while we live in a motel room as a homeless family,
Ready to be kicked out by tomorrow.
being pushed out from here to go
Why?
to another motel
Yep.
to live inside of.
Hmm.
Why?
Why? Because we have people in that are working in the motel that are behaving irresponsible. They're spending their times trying to go after other people's husbands,
Mm,
and sometimes the men coming in here if they've been touched by Mr. Trump, they come in unseen and try to and attacking and abusing my body or I don't know about our daughter's body because she isn't saying anything. She's scared, and I could understand why. Um, so I am going to speak on her behalf.
mm.
Our daughter was forced by Mr. Trump and Mr. Trudeau, and
She was
she
sexually
was
assaulted,
yes,
to put it
and
nicely or mildly.
Mr.
So,
Trump or Mr. Trudeau or both of them spent their time using that technology where they come into our home and terrorize our daughter to the point where she could not take anymore. She had to end up going to a place, a hospital, to get help mentally. So she got help. She did not reach. All she needed was her mom and her dad, and but they took her to that place, and because they were fearful that she would go outside and get killed.
She was being
Of course, she was
controlled.
walking all over the streets, and he was literally controlling her through this machine. Because at times, Mahogany would be going and standing in the middle of the road, and cars would be coming speeding. He was trying to kill her.
Mm.
This is what Mr. Trump was given presidency for, because he's helped the United States government to do this kind of evil to human beings that look like us. This is how evil being Caucasian has become, doing damage to human beings that are of a different nationality. This is
Mm.
why I'm speaking about it, and we have to speak about it. If we don't, this will be going on and on and on and on, and no one will take charge to stop it. We are living in a society that is so corrupt you can't even understand. Before I came here to do this show, Mr. Trump was attacking me all over my leg to try to get me to stop.
Mm.
He's been trying to kill me for decades.
Yes.
I feel sorry for his family that they have a father like that, or a husband like that. It's a dangerous thing. It's like living with death.
Living with a demon from Winterland who followed this God to this planet. When she arrived here, whenever God comes here to work with human beings in a public way, a demon always follows that God from the belly of the fourth dimension called Winterland or Hell, if you prefer. And they come here to try to destroy the physical life of that God and to destroy the sacred work that this divine being comes here to do. And so Avatar Galextra came here to bring all beings together and show them how to live as a family in a way, in a world that she calls a new way of
Of
being.
being.
So the demon who came from Winterland to try to destroy her life and work is now living inside the body of the human being who sits currently inside the White House, Donald J.
Trump.
Trump. He's not someone who is chosen by gods or by God, nor is he someone given a divine mandate to do anything. He is someone whose body is occupied and being controlled by this demon who came from Winterland, who is using his body and his life to create as much chaos
Kill as much people.
and destruction and devastation as he's able to do. Because that's what demons do. They do the complete opposite of the work that gods do when they come to live as mortal beings amongst the human race. So the demon living inside the White House is showing you who he is, what his character, credibility, showing you himself. And people look and say, this person is an autocrat, or is a dictator without a title, or is a monarch without a throne. He might be those things, but he's also the demon who came from Winterland to destroy the Avatar's life and work that she came here to do. And he is taking all the steps he can to remain in that White House to continue the work that he's doing to destroy not only America as a nation and to destroy the economy of that nation, but he's also taking steps to destroy the entire nations of people living on the planet.
So he's giving advice to Trudeau and what to do to us in
Hmm.
here. And believe me, I'm being attacked on an everyday basis 24/7 right here.
Hmm.
And I would like to know why we are paying rent for in a motel that is allowing this to go on and as a part of it themselves.
But wherever we go to live, this demon shows up along with people also who have access to this stolen sacred technology, which is being weaponized and is being used to destroy the lives of millions of human beings today. And over the last 8 decades, the lives of tens of millions of people living on the surface of Lady Gaia today. So, where we happen to go to live, they use people who are there as Manchurian candidates with this amazing healing technology that they've weaponized, and they will either use their bodies as a Trojan horse. They will
Mhm.
occupy the body of that human being and use it as if it is their own for a period of time and do or say things that will undermine, disrespect, degrade, violate, terrorize
Mhm.
the God who came here to work to bring all beings together on this planet, who lived as Lord Jesus, as I told you. So
This is something that I need to
go
say.
ahead
Sorry.
before your memory goes.
Um,
Yes.
Before I leave, I would like to let Mr. Trudeau know that we need our money. We need a place to live. You showed us a house. We are happy with that house. We would like to have the address. We would like to have our money so that we can move on and with our lives. You have been wrecking our lives intentionally. You cared nothing about us. It's obvious you're prejudiced because it's showing in your behavior. You think because being African that you can get away with what you're doing. Well, I want the people of color to know this. Mr. Trudeau and Mr. Trump has been doing this damage to myself and my family since I've been in Canada. And while I was in the United States, I was being attacked in there and abused.
Not Mr. Trudeau. Donald Trump has had this technology for at least 4 decades. Justin Trudeau came into government about 5 years ago,
Hmm.
and since then he has been co opted and coerced to be a part of the campaign that has been attacking the Avatar since he came to this planet. So he's new, fairly new, in
As
joining
far as
this
you
team.
know,
5 years in
as far as
government.
you do know,
Okay.
we don't know that for a
Donald J.
fact. I
Trump.
don't know that, and he's right. I don't know also to that for a fact. And think about it. But I do know one thing that they are in cahoots with each other.
Hmm.
And because of this, we are having problems receiving what we are supposed to receiving. And tomorrow we have to be out on the streets.
Well,
And we need our money. Mr. Trudeau needs to pay the money that
yes.
he owes and give us the address of the house that they send the lady to show us that we can own. We would like to see it.
Mm.
Or if we see something better, of course we would want something better. We'd fix it up to get it looking better or whatever it is. But we do need our money and we need the address of the house that we're supposed to be receiving. Is that a truth or is it another game being played by
Mm.
you and the rest of your government? Because your government seems to play a lot of games and I see what goes around comes around. Once it started on CNN with the females putting on makeup and behaving like they're prostitutes looking for another man to sleep with, um, the same thing is happening on the government in this Canadian government, and this is what they're doing.
Mm.
It's interesting to see this because they're literally telling us that they're all crooked, that they're all part of the same game, and they cannot be trusted.
Mm. We haven't spoken about what's taking
Now,
place.
by tomorrow, sorry, we'll be out in the streets.
Well, we will be.
And we have no
Mm.
money, nowhere to go. And these people are responsible for what they've done to us. We are telling them that we need to pay our money. They would not even speak to us in person. They did not even care to do it in a manner in which we speak to each other and make the deal quickly and so we can move on with our lives.
Mm.
They did not do that. So they ended up having to pay in billions. Also to killing out my family. He literally robbed me of anybody to speak to. And right now, Mr. Trump is attacking me in the heart.
Mm.
I can feel it.
The only thing we can use to keep these
This
criminals
is
from
what Mr.
outside
Trump
this
is doing.
department, this
Remember, if I die, remember who is at the back of it. Mr. Trump or Mr. Trudeau or both.
he sprayed vinegar.
Mr. Trudeau did not mind Mr. Trump coming in wherever we go, even though he's coming in here in this country. But Mr. Trump, he minds because he's attacking now. And Mr. Trudeau probably is one of the same people that is attacking to try to kill me. So if I drop dead, remember who is doing it to me. If they lie, you will know it. Thank you very much for listening. You wanted to say something, huh? Go
I
ahead.
was just pointing out that the only thing we can use currently to keep these criminals from staying inside whether we
I just pulled out what he put in.
Hmm.
Thank you.
what we happen to live is vinegar. It mm,
No, they're pretending to be talking because they don't know a thing. You must think I'm stupid.
um, we have to go from here to another place to live, and part of my job is to make sure. Is that gas or?
I'm pulling out what they're doing. They're using air to try to destroy my
Yeah.
weaken my heart or destroy it.
Yeah. We have to go from here to another motel to live, to stay.
Excuse me. Yeah. Thank you. That's what they were doing. He's using. That's what he's using. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was trying to kill Mahogany with that same behavior. Too.
Yes, advanced in. We've lived in 4 different motels in the last 5 months in this city. Last 4 months in the city, Niagara Falls.
Oh, wait a minute. This guy's. Okay.
Oh,
Can I say something?
let's just finish.
Okay, finish
that
that quickly. Because I want to hear what he has to say.
So we're leaving here tomorrow to go to another motel to stay, and we're going to continue to sound the alarm about what's being done to you and to us with this technology from the fourth dimension.
But also
Mm.
to find out why Mr. Trudeau and his government is so corrupt that they would not keep their word and pay the money that they owe. Instead, they're getting greedy and then telling me that I'm greedy. I'm not greedy. I'm asking them for the money that they owe me because of what they have done, wiping out my family. Also, because of what they have been doing to me, what they have been doing to our daughter, what they've done to our son. This is not a joke. These are things that has happened and we have been going through for decades. Me, for all of my life.
And because of what they've been doing to human beings for about 8 decades, using this technology, Lady Gaga herself, and all kinds of crimes committed on scene with this amazing technology that doesn't belong in the hands of human beings and is thousands of years ahead of whatever is developed so far today by the human race. Um, so we'll go from here to another motel because
unless, of course, we get our money from Mr. Trudeau and Mr. Trump.
Yes.
We need our money and we need to move on with our lives. And Mr. Trump and Mr. Trudeau has blocked us all our lives. Well, no, that's not fair. That's not true. Mr. Trump has blocked me since I was in the United States and Canada. He has been terrorizing my body. I did not even realize all of the things that I was going through had to do with him. The whole procedure took place in Canada too, and Mr. Trudeau apparently became a part of it. And they haven't. They killed my family out, and it's time for that money to be paid, because not only did they do that, they also have been attacking me and my daughter, and for years, for decades. So this has got to stop, and our money has to be paid. Thank you very much for listening.
Something I need to add. Currently in the US, there is a lot of chaos, a lot of pain and anger and frustration being vented by people who are outraged by the murder of a human being by a police officer in public while a camera films this murder, where this officer puts his knee on the neck
And make sure his whole weight was on that guy's neck.
of this African
Evil.
American who is handcuffed, lying on his stomach, and he puts his knee on his neck for about 9 minutes, and he kills him. And so people are outraged by this crime committed by a law enforcement officer. Another evidence of African American men, especially, being targeted, attacked, killed, or injured by police officers. So you see, Trudeau is there. Okay, so he's supposed to do like half an hour speeches. It's Saturday. I don't know if he's doing that now. So that's taking place, and you're seeing the evidence of what racism does. It creates all these problems that are surfacing, bringing them to the surface. Anyway, that's all I want to say.
Okay, now we're going to go. I'm going to be checking on the government here, on the television where they are, see what if Mr. Trudeau is going to come out and speak. Huh? Because we need our money, and we need to also get a place where we are not constantly on the run. This is just not right. Have a great day and a great life, and good luck to you and your family, and we wish you the best. And for the people of color, we love you all. You're my family. Always remember that. Okay? Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.